We have a question from an NT wife. She says, my husband either is a narcissist or has autism spectrum disorder, or it might be something else. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? Well, people with ASD level 1, which is high functioning autism, experience a lot of different difficulties, and not to complicate the situation, but many of these difficulties are associated with other things. There's a huge crossover between narcissistic personality disorder and ASD. The same thing could be said with obsessive compulsive disorder. So it's kind of hard to just guess. It would be best to go get a diagnosis if he were to be willing to get an assessment. But ultimately, ASD is hard to diagnose and is frequently misdiagnosed. So some of the things to look for if he does indeed have ASD level 1 would be cognitive difficulties. Frequently, the person on the spectrum experiences difficulty with empathizing with others and may say inappropriate things because he fails to consider others' feelings. A significant problem for the person on the spectrum is mind blindness. And mind blindness occurs when he is unable to make inferences about what others are thinking, and it also hinders communication with others. Another thing that you will find if he does indeed have ASD level 1 will be a narrow range of interests. If the individual on the spectrum seems stuck on a certain topic and seems a bit obsessed and seems to always be talking about that topic, he demonstrates narrow interests, and this is a trait of ASD. And it's not uncommon for the person on the spectrum to learn everything he can about this special interest, and then he may feel compelled to share information about that topic with everyone around him. He may even interrupt when somebody else is speaking so he can switch back to his favorite topic, which is his special interest. And obviously, focusing on narrow interests affects social interactions negatively. Another thing that will come with the package of ASD level 1 would be difficulty with social interaction. So although the autistic person may want to interact with others, he lacks the social skills to get it done effectively. The person may fail to understand both verbal and nonverbal cues, and communication with others can break down as a result. The ASD individual may lecture others, he may fail to ask questions to continue a discussion, or simply not even acknowledge the other person by looking at them. The desire to communicate may be there, but the language abilities others seem to develop naturally just don't develop easily for the person on the spectrum. Another thing that will tend to come with the package would be motor clumsiness, sensory sensitivity, the need for routine. People on the autism spectrum crave structure. They thrive on routine because things that show up in an impromptu fashion throws them off. They don't like change, and they don't like surprise change. Some other things that would come with ASD level 1 would be having a high level of vocabulary and formal speech patterns, peculiarities in speech and language, such as lack of rhythm, odd inflections, or in monotone, taking figures of speech literally, downloading even neutral comments as offensive and as a personal attack. So if most, if not all of that sounds familiar, then we're probably talking ASD level 1. If most of that does not really fit your husband, then it's probably something else.